All right, as mentioned, I did grade last night, and a couple things. First of all, I went over this page. I brought this up in class, and I said, as an example, write a Java program that inputs a person's height and weight, valid range 12 through 90 and 1 through, and both of them say there, use constants. Several people did not. So if you didn't, you lost a point. All right. Down at the bottom, it said 18.5 if you're underweight, 25 or over. If you're overweight, use constants. If you didn't, you lost a point. You say, well, geez, it didn't say that in the book. That's why I went over it in class, and it's out there on the system. Because I want you to get used to starting to understand input validation. Because technically, if you didn't put that stuff in, I could have put a gazillion pounds in there. And then you were, 8.5 feet, or miles high, and whatever. All right. So if you lost points, you may have lost them on that. I will guarantee you that, as long as you come most of the time, as long as you make an effort in class, that if you're ever a point or two away from a grade, I always bump people up. The only people I ever bump down are people that don't show. All right. So on your next homework, you're supposed to do two things. One of them is to, keep working on this program that we were working on. So again, notice it says use constants. All right. And it says somewhere in here, use constants. So use them this time. All right. And on the other one, I just want to make sure people understand this. So for the other one, again, notice random number guessing game. In the book, it did not say the number should be between 1 and 100. I'm saying it should. Because if you just generate a random integer, it literally is between negative 2 billion something and positive 2 billion something. All right? So make it between 1 and 100. If you don't exactly, if you just want it to say too high or too low, I don't care that much about the try again. I think we're all at the point that even if on the last assignment you were using the keyboard object in the scanner, you shouldn't be doing that anymore. That's just very amateurish to do that. I don't think it's too much to ask that everybody in here starts to use the input dialog and the message dialog, because that's typically the way that it's going to be done. All right? And remember that you also, for the second part of the challenge, have to figure out how many guesses the user made. And when they get it correct, I don't care how you do this. All right? But somehow just make sure you keep track of that. All right? Yes.
Do you want both turned in, or just the one? Just the last one?
I want for what? No, you can do this as one project if you want to, if that's your question. Yes, you can do it as one project. That'd be fine. If you want to do it as two, you can, but I don't really see any reason to do that. It's really not that much code to do that. And the last thing I'll say is for anybody who complains and says, well, that wasn't fair, you took off, you did this, and you did. There are at least 2 or 3 people in here that copied the comments in from here that said use constants, and then they didn't use constants. All right? And part of the thing is, when you become a programmer, you are given specifications. And when you're given specifications, and typically the person or people or group that gives you the specifications doesn't say, Roger, do you like those specifications? Because if you don't, you can kind of just do whatever you feel like doing. That's not typically how it works. All right? And we'll talk about the other class, because that was, as the saying goes, that was its own can of fish, or whatever the heck the saying is. We'll talk about that this afternoon. All right? Any questions on this? Anything? I want to make sure people understand what it is you're supposed to be doing. So you go back to the BMI one. Virtually everybody in here has got it done. All right? Add constants if you didn't. So there should be a constant for min height, min weight, max weight. That's 4. Then you need one for underweight, which is 18.5, and one for overweight, which is 25. You don't need one for optimal weight. All right, so that's like 6 constants you'll need in the program. Save that to a file. That's one of the programs. This one, I don't care. You probably could do this without any constants. All right? I mean, if you wanted to have some constants, you could make 1 as your minimum number, 100 as your greatest. You even could put that in a string constant and that in a string constant if you wanted to do that. All right? Questions? Yes.
Do you want the BMI saved under a different name?
As long as I've already graded yours, you can put it under the same one. I don't care. Whatever's easiest for you. It doesn't really matter to me. Any other questions?
When's this part due?
I think we said that already, but I'm not positive, so let me check.
I think you said the 28th last time.
I believe that that's correct. All right. John is still out sick. He hopefully will be back tomorrow. If you didn't hear, his fever finally broke. It was 103. And it finally broke last night. So he's feeling better, but he thinks he should have one more night or one more day where he's not possibly going to infect somebody. So he should be back tomorrow. I don't know, Mike, is Mike here?
Mike is here, yes.
No, but I mean, is he in here?
Was.
Because he talked about coming, I think that's his stuff over there. But he talked about coming in here, you know, and he said, I'll come in, but I don't know Android. And I said, that's okay, because it's not an Android class. All right? So I think he'll be in here. But if you have other questions, raise your hand. I'll do the best I can to help you. All right? That's it.